Welcome back, everybody. The Commons Podcast is episode 6. It's been a little minute since it's a lot of stuff that happened since we gone. China been sending spy balloons, Russia and the US getting into it. LeBron broke some records. Tom Brady retired. It's been a lot of stuff going on, bro.
Where?
It's been a lot of stuff going on. What we got up first, though, bro? What's up?
I bet I got this question, and I was going
All
to
right.
ask it to you on when we saw each other the other day. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna save it. I saved it just for y'all podcast. But I bet. Would you rather work 50% less or make 50% more
Like right now,
right now?
I'd make 50% more. Easy.
Really,
Easy.
like easy, no second thoughts.
Yeah, no second thoughts. I'll make 50% more.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
like I like my job. I feel like it can be, you got to put in some work at times, but for the most part, like it ain't. I'm not tripping over it. You know what I'm saying? So if I could do what I'm doing now and make 50% more, heck yeah, I'd take that. I definitely
Mm,
take that.
yeah, and I guess it depends too on how much more 50% more is, right? Because
Yeah,
like 50% more could end up being a lot, or it could be like, eh.
yeah.
What about what about on a scale of what about if you had a scale, right? You could either work 100% less, or you can make 100% more. Where would you put that?
Ooh, now that gets hard. Yeah, now that gets hard. Let me think. Let me think. If I could work 100% less or make 100% more, basically what it comes down to is
And it's a
if
scale too. You can put it somewhere. Like
I could put it somewhere.
you can put it like 25% here, so that
Oh,
you working like four
yeah.
hours and making like I don't know.
Oh, that makes it easy. If it's absolute, that's harder. But if it's, I would just say it would probably be somewhere between like 25 and 40%, like working 25 to 40% less. And that's assuming I still make the same amount that I make now, right?
No, you're gonna make more money. Like you're
No,
gonna.
no, no. If I work less,
Oh yeah,
do
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I make the
yeah.
same amount?
You don't work at all. You're gonna make the same amount that you're making now.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So if I had to choose, it'd be somewhere between 25 and 40% less, making the same amount as I do now. If it's absolute, like either I work 100% less or I make 100% more. Because what that comes down to is if I'm working 100% less with that free time, do I think that I could make? I do. I got faith in myself, so I work 100% less, make the same amount, and scale that junk up. Yeah, I'll make some shake out of that for sure.
It was funny. I was talking to my brother about it, and he was like, if he worked 100%, like, and I feel the same way on this one. Like, if I worked 100% less, I'm not even too pressed on making up the other 100%. Like, I'll just build my life around how much money I have. Like,
Mm.
if I happen to make 100% more later down the road, which I think I could, like, cool. But hey, if I just got the money I got right now to go around doing things, that's just kind of what I got. If
Hmm.
I feel like doing something until something I'm doing blows up, whatever the case may be. But
Hmm.
I said I was going 50% less. I'll work 50% less
Really? Why so?
because I probably like my job less than you like yours, or I don't want to say less than you like yours if you enjoy it, but I like my job less. Like it's pretty easy, and 100% more could be like not 100% more, 50% more could be like that'd be dope, be easy to do. Not overly working myself now, but I would much rather have the time to do something else that I like, as opposed to make the 50% more today, because my time is still going to be kind of where it is, and there's nothing that I want to do or really have that means more to me than those, I guess, extra 4 hours.
Than having that time. I get that.
Yeah.
Oh, now you talking about like extra 4 hours. So like, is it like instead of working like a 9 to 5, you only work half the day, or is it like instead of working 5 days a week, you work 2.5 days a week?
See, that's a good question. That's a little wrinkle. Originally, I was thinking like hour wise, but
Mm-hmm.
I I guess you can choose, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look
What does
like?
it look
You gonna
like?
work 50% less? What does your 50% less looks like? Are you coming in 2 days a week, 2.5 days a week? You coming in half a day?
Yeah, I'd rather if it was up to me, I'd rather come in like I'll do it days. Cause then like my mindset is just all right, this day I gotta do 2 days of this. The rest of the day is hey, it is what it is. If I gotta do half the time, like my day is still structured around including that in my life. Like for example, if I want to take a vacation, I only work 2.5 days and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Versus if I want to take a vacation, I still gotta like it's basically the same as working because then you got to take off the days and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, that's a good point. So yeah, it's up to you, whichever one you want to do. But
Heck
I
yeah.
don't know, bro. I was just off a week, bro. If I do something like that, if I work two and am all five, they after the second time I do that, they're not gonna see me no more. Like that's it. Like that,
It's over with, bro.
you can call it, bro. Like no, bro, I'm not coming back, bro. Like no, you can call it.
Nah,
And
that's
don't let
real.
me take a vacation for 2 of those days. So, like let's say I had like 10, 12 days off straight. You
That's
can call it.
it. It's over with.
They're not gonna see me no more.
I'm
But nah, we
done,
can go
bro.
ahead and get into it, bro.
All right, bro. I don't know if you saw this, but it's the 1 year. It's officially the one. I think it was on Friday, the 1 year anniversary of the war in Ukraine. That just kind of that just kind of crazy. Russia been attacking these folks for a year now, and it's kind of crazy because like the world's still going on. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I hear about it every once in a while, but it's like it's a whole war going on out here, like with rockets, missiles, like all that. And it's just been a year of that. Like that's crazy.
Aside from like oh, real quick, do you remember when we went to war with Iraq or Iran, whichever one?
When was that? Like 2001, 2002, 2003, something like that.
2002-ish, 3-ish, because it had to be after 9/11.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You
Slick.
do? Okay. I
Yeah.
guess that's what 20 years ago at this point. The reason I ask is because like it just kind of seems like minus the amount of money that they're sending all the time, like it seems similar to the war that we've had ongoing with the Middle East. You just kind of hear about it, you know what's going on, but it doesn't really seem like a big deal. Not on a daily
That's
basis anyway.
true.
That's kind of how I see it.
But I don't well, I guess if you lived in Europe, you would see it the same way. Or if you lived anywhere else in the world, you would see it the same way. Cause like for us, like I remember it was like, oh, it was a reason that we was over there. It was stuff that we were trying to accomplish. You're trying to help, the people in Iraq fight off these terrorists, establish government, establish democracy, like X, Y, and Z. So it was like, all right, it's more like an operation than a war. Whereas like the Russia and Ukraine war, at least the way it appears in the media and the way it comes off is like, oh, Russia is just trying to take these folks over. They say, hey, look, hey, y'all had a good run, but it's our time now. Which is that now. To be fair, that's not actually the reasoning why Russia, felt they needed to start this war in the first place. But I'm just saying that's how it's portrayed in the media, and that's how I perceive it based on what I've seen.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely the point of view that's given. Like Russia just was like, you know what, we need more land, and they went after Ukraine. I was saying more so like as far as like news updates and things goes, like, is this a big deal or is it not a big deal? Like it just kind of feels like the same thing as every other war, every other bombing that like it's happening, but I'm
Mm,
not keeping go. I don't even know who's winning. I don't know like dev totals, anything like that. It's just something that's going on. I don't even like it doesn't feel like a war to me.
mm.
I don't know. I don't really expect it to end, or I don't know how it will end. It just seems like something that's going to be ongoing, which
That's true.
which is it kind of reminds me of what's that book called? Oh, 1984. In 1984, they had you find out at the end that like their goal is to just have an ongoing war because war doesn't really boost the economy. Like it takes more away from it than it does. So like you can have people work more, but instead of like there being more, it's all being like taken away because of the war, like, or it's all going to war production. So like
Mm.
all that to say, it gives me this eerie feeling of like 1984, and like the ongoing war, war never ends. Um, 10 years from now, I'm still gonna be talking about the war in Ukraine. But that just made me think about that.
Yeah, I feel like the way it ends is like basically one side runs out of weapons or money, or citizens just get tired of it. I'm talking about like Russia now. Like Russia's citizens just get tired of it and they start, protesting or whatever, and it gets to the government, which they aren't in a dictatorship. So
do
I don't
you
know how that would go.
do you
But
see a
sure,
series of my bad?
you got it.
Do you see a series of events that pulls America into the war, like legit? Because like we sending stuff over there, way too much money, and we're sending ammo, weapons, and stuff like that. But do you see an event that happens that's like, oh no, like we're declaring war on Russia?
I do. And I actually think the United States is trying to be conservative about it. They're not trying to get directly involved. I feel like they're using that as like a last resort. Because I don't know if you know, but like Joe Biden just went over to Ukraine. He did a surprise visit. I was like, how you do a surprise visit to a place that's in a war? That's cap. That is cap. But he did a surprise visit, quote, to Ukraine to like talk to their government, address their people, all of that, because it's the 1 year anniversary. And he, showed support. And he basically he had this like the headline was he was like, America stands with you, the world stands with you. All right, cool. But like America hasn't really like we've given money, but like for example, after that, Ukraine was like, hey, we need some fighter jets, send us some F-16s, you know what I'm saying, so we could one up these folks. And the US was like, nah. Like, nah. So like the US is trying, but on the same token, like the US just released a bunch of like sanctions on Russia to be like, oh y'all like imposing their trade and trying to restrict so they're helping out, but more in like diplomatic ways and political ways. Whereas there's other countries, like I think Poland, Germany, countries in Europe that are a little bit closer that are giving more in terms of like actual like weaponry and stuff like that to help out. Like I think was it Poland that was going to train them on some German tanks or something like that to like help them get right or whatever. Like they doing stuff like that, but I think the US has like shied away from that a little bit. And I did see some about like I had to go look into it, but I did see some about like the way that the US government like gives money is they're not giving the money. That junk is a loan. So like Ukraine is at some point going to have to pay us back for that. And that's going to take like decades. Like, I think the last time we did that was I don't know if it was in Vietnam or like, I don't know, some war that we had in the past. And they was paying that junk off for like 50 years. Like they just got done paying that junk off like in the last 10 years from like, from like the 19, whatever, maybe 1800s, like a long time ago. So it's kind of interesting.
What does that mean though? Like, I'm glad to hear one that it's alone because like the numbers been getting outrageous. It's like, bruh, where's our second stimmy at? Our third stimmy. But so that's good to hear this alone. But like, what does that look like? So like, they get $1 trillion and they can go buy tanks from another country, or we give them $1 trillion.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, they can buy weapons and all that junk from other places.
So what happens if they lose and default on that loan? Like they grandkids.
Hey, maybe that's why the US said we're not giving you no F-16s. They said, look.
The grandkids gotta pay. Like what happens? Or like is the country that they went and got they weapons or whatever from, they gonna look at us like, hey yo, like where's our money? Like what happens, bro?
I don't know how they like you. So you asking like how do they pay it back, basically?
Not even how do they pay? Yeah. What happens if they can't pay it back?
What happens if they can't pay it back? I mean, that's just an L for the United States. I mean, any loan that you give, I don't know what that was. Any loan that you give, there's a risk of it defaulting, like the person not being able to pay that back. Same thing with countries. So they would have written it in a way where, like, we understand, like, all right, y'all get smacked. You know what I'm saying? We might not get this money back. No disrespect to any Ukrainians out there. But if Ukraine ends up losing the war, we understand we might not get it back. And they probably have some type of like fail-safe, which is why I think like the United States is now, they're waiting to the last possible moment to like intervene militarily. If it starts looking like, all right, ain't got nothing else to, to have, like Ukraine, this is the last line of defense, I think the United States will step in because they have a vested interest at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. That's kind of big to declare war on Russia, though.
It is. And that's why I think they're trying to avoid it as much as possible. It is. Like, it would have to be like last resort. And also it depends on you know what I'm saying, who's in power at the time too, because we got another election coming up 2024. So you know what I'm saying, the things might change. You never know. Russia keeps this going on for another year and a half, and who knows.
That's interesting. I feel like everybody in Europe is gonna have to get involved before we get involved. Like, I don't think that really makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless they are, but like, what would it take? I would expect people to side with Russia before I would think that they would fight, especially without the backing of the United States. But China just released a 12-point plan to end the war in Ukraine. Did you see anything about that? Yeah, I don't know what step one is.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see what that's talking about.
There is something. It might be a TV show. There's something like, it's like my 8-point plan, and like step 1 is something simple, and then step 8, become a millionaire, and they don't have no steps in between. But I wonder if it's something like that. But I saw it on the news briefly. I'm not sure what any of the steps are, but that's kind of surprising to me, because last I checked, I thought they were on Russia's side.
They're probably on the side of preserving dictatorships. Like, that's probably, they're on the side of preserving dictatorships and preventing American influence in Europe, in Asia. So like, that's their interest, but also China has a lot of stuff to do, like, you know what I'm saying, with they have a lot of business, a lot of trade to do with the United States and with the Western side of the world anyway. So they also have a vested interest there. So they probably weigh in the pros and cons of like, all right, is this worth it? But also, they got them balloons over here, so maybe they just waiting for their own time. They don't want Russia to mess nothing up. That's what's going on.
Hey, they said, hey, the U.S. over here distracted. That's step 4.
Step 5, release the balloons, boy. They ready.
Step 8,
Speaking
the
of
aliens.
Go ahead.
I said step 8, the aliens.
But speaking of China, though, what's it called? There is some new legislation right now going on for TikTok to be banned in the United States. Now, I don't know if you know, but TikTok's parent company is they're called ByteDance. It's a Chinese company. They have ties to the government and all that. And so, like, people been concerned that, what kind of information are they getting from TikTok, especially knowing how much information you can get from TikTok, the way the algorithm works to like serve you exactly what you want, keep you engaged. Like, people be on that app for hours. So there's been a lot of concerns about like, what kind of data is China getting? Do they have like an ulterior motive, whatever? Because you also think about it, China's TikTok is not the same as United States TikTok. Have you heard that?
I would imagine, though, because I would expect ours to be way less censored.
Yeah, their TikTok only shows educational and like government property. That's it. It's like science and math. That's
smart, bro. Like, you can that is, bro, that's insane, because you can control somebody's popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we're over here, like, we about to all right, 50 and above, y'all on your way out. So you have like the generation like from 40 to 25-ish that like won't be, that's not, I don't know. It's plenty of us that's glued to TikTok right now. But everybody,
but even less than that. Think about so this is what I'm saying, right? Like so going back to like the Russia and Ukraine thing, like if Russia is messing up their plan, TikTok, yeah, you got people from 40 to 25, but you got kids using that junk from like 7, 6, 5 to 13, 14, and these people are going to grow up. So like, there could be stuff in there that over time like influences them. They learn to go to TikTok for information. Like, that's how people get their news now, is by going on TikTok. That's how people get their recommendations, is by going on TikTok. That's how people see reviews, is by going on TikTok. So,
and that's what I'm saying. You're influencing like the people, like people who gonna be around for like 100 years, is what I'm saying. So like, yeah, the people who like 50 and above, like, they're not gonna watch it, but like everybody else, like they own. So if you can influence what they think about what they see, how they feel. You about like that's a crazy amount. I can understand why you would want to ban that. I thought they should ban it anyways. When Big Tizzle came said, "Hey man, we should ban TikTok," and everybody was in outrage. But right around the gym culture and everybody recording these videos and trying to point out creeps in the gym, I was like, yeah, they probably should go ahead and get rid of TikTok.
Nah, that story was wild. That girl tried to catch dude tripping like, bro, what? That just, but I don't even want to get into. Honestly, I didn't even see it. I just saw like the backlash. I saw that she like came out and apologized or whatever. But like, I don't know. Yeah, TikTok been kind of wild lately.
Yeah, because you got people like that dude them two dudes who be dancing everywhere. Like you're
that big dude, bro. I hate seeing him, bro. I hate seeing him on my feed. I really like. I'm getting tired of it, bro. I'm really getting tired of it. Bro. if and you know what? Like, I kind of get it because I was about to say like, if I was in a business or sitting down eating and that man get up and start dancing, I'm gonna tell the business owner throw him out. But like the business owner, they're gonna be like, all right, but he got, you know what I'm saying, 3 million views on his videos or whatever. Like, this is free advertising. But like that junk is so annoying, bro. It's not even, but it don't look good. But and he be eating with his mouth full, food be dropping out his mouth, be dancing on people like, bro, we trying to eat. What's good?
I don't think TikTok converts like that for especially something that goes viral like that. I don't think the business is gonna profit too much off of it.
Why?
I don't think it's gonna profit at all.
I think it will in today's like social climate. I think it will because people be talking about, oh, you got to give credit for every little thing that happens now. So people gonna be like, what's the name of the restaurant? Or you got to like somebody's gonna be in there and put that junk in there.
But so I can't remember the last video I've seen by him. Like it's been a minute. I don't even think I watched it all the way through. Like right about the time he starts to dance, like I realized what kind of video it is, and I'll change it because I don't have TikTok either though. So like,
yeah,
this is just on Twitter. So like, does he promote the business in it? Like, can you even tell what business it is?
Oh no, he doesn't. He does, but people in the comments on social media, they detectives, like whole detectives, bro. They'll be like, "It's this restaurant in this city. They open at this time. Here's their number." Like people be doing that job.
But what are they gonna see in the video that's like, "Oh, I should go there"?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
Oh, okay.
But like, maybe it's just. I mean, it's literally just like a ad, right? Like, you're gonna have people. So the way I think it works, right? That video goes up. Somebody that's in that city or in that town or whatever sees it and they recognize, oh, this is that restaurant. So they put that junk in the comments. You're going to have somebody that's like, oh, shoot, I ain't never seen this restaurant before. Let me go check it out. Or if you have seen that restaurant, maybe you ain't been there in a while, you're like, oh, shoot, that is a good restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's ways. It might not be like a huge, like you're not going to have a line outside your door the next day, but like over the next month, you might see like a little 15, 20% increase in, number of customers that you have because of a video that went viral.
Yeah, all publicity is good publicity thing, especially if you didn't have to pay him for it. Like
Yep. But like, oh, you got it?
Nah, I was about to say I get it, but
I was gonna say like, yeah, social media is a wild place. The crazy thing I saw this week was I saw a tweet. Hold on, I saw a tweet that said Stevie Wonder is paying $25,000 a month in child support for kids that he ain't never seen.
Hey, what's up with people, bro? Yo, what's up with people, bro? What's
25,000 for kids he ain't never seen, dog? That is wild.
Yeah, social media is a crazy place. It's crazy that it used to be crazier too, bro.
Oh yeah, it sure did. It used to be real wild. Folks used to be on Twitter like wilding out for sure. Before you get canceled, bro, folks would be out there saying.
It used to be the wild, wild west out there, but I still remember the guy that was deaf that they bullied. I can't even remember his name now. But it was a long time. He had on like headphones. He had on like headphones or something. His name was like, it might have been like Deaf Greg or something like that. Like,
Oh
how
my.
you gonna, like, yeah, very, very crazy place. They
Nah,
should have
yeah,
banned
Twitter was
Twitter
wild.
back
The best was when like Twitter would get on and be watching a show or like a live event at the same time and be
then.
roasting stuff. Bro, that jump was insane, bro. Like what? Oh
Yeah.
man.
Even still, bro, the comment sections be kind of crazy too, bro. The ESPN, they had made that post welcoming back Brittany Griner, and like they had to cut the comments off. Bro. By the time I sent that jump to you, you was like, I think they cut the comments off, and they did
Bruh,
it for good reason, bro.
when I saw it, when I saw the picture, I was like, this is a new team in the NBA. What's going on? But like
On me, bro.
I couldn't tell. Like, but I mean, hey, respect to Brittany Griner. She's back. She's doing her thing. But like, she cut her hair off. She, got the haircut
I
and the
think they cut it
lineup.
while she was in Russia.
You said what?
I think they cut it while she was in Russia.
Yeah, she cut her
Oh,
locks
okay.
while she was in Russia. Yes, she had to. But yeah, so she had the lineup and all that. But like, she was out there looking
6'8"ish, like what?
looking like a good power forward, bruh. Like, what?
What?
He's for the dunk on somebody. Hey, I hope she goes on and has a great season. Shout out to Brittany Griner. She finna go stupid next season. Watch.
Boy,
Go ahead.
boy, MVP season loading, boy.
I'm dead. All right. So let's talk about you people. I mean, everybody saw the ads that they was doing for that junk because they did like, I don't know how much they spent on that junk, but they spent a lot on promoting Netflix. Spent a lot of money promoting you people. I saw it everywhere. So I was like, all right, cool, let's watch it. Before I watched it, honestly, I did not have high expectations for this movie. I just didn't. Cause like from the ads and stuff, I was like, I like in all of the trailers and the videos that they did before the movie came out, there was like, oh, it's a new comedy, but like it wasn't one scene in any of those trailers that was funny. So so like I didn't have high expectations for it. But the main reason I watched it was because Eddie Murphy was in it. And it's the first time I've seen Eddie Murphy in a movie in like however long. Plus it was like, all right, this is a popular movie. It's not too long. Let's see what it's about. All right. So the movie itself, I don't think was that great, honestly. I think they, it had some moments. What the biggest thing that I didn't like was the timeline of the whole relationship, everything. Like I felt like that junk happened way too fast. Like that junk was not realistic. It was cool up until the point where they went on that first date, where when Jonah Hill went on the first date with Lauryn London. Like that was cool. After that, it felt like everything just moved so fast. They like started dating, then they bought a house together, then he quit his job, then they talking about getting married. I was like, yo, what is this? How does this happen? Like the timeline was just off, bro. Like it was real wild. Like I'm pretty sure they bought that house before they met each other's parents.
Yeah,
Like
I
y'all
think
bought
so.
a house together before y'all met your partner's parents. Like that's a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that was the biggest thing I didn't like about it. I thought it was interesting that they tried to like talk about like Black culture and Jewish culture in the same movie, which are both two hot topics. I was like, all right, that's interesting. I can't say whether or not they did a good or a bad job. I think it was all right. Like I think that part was straight. And I think they did a lot of like celebrity stacking in the movie. Like I felt like they tried to get as many celebrities in there as they could and be like, all right, we're gonna make it a blockbuster movie by
Right.
having a bunch of celebrities. But overall, it was straight. It was like I wouldn't tell anybody it's a waste of time or like not to watch it. I think it's good to, you know what I'm saying, if you just chilling, you trying to see, all right, what we gonna do for movie night? Sure, you can pop that on.
Okay.
What'd you think about it?
Oh, wait. Before we go to that, you said that you mentioned how they bought the house before they met each other's parents.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's out of the normal? Out of the norm?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Bought a house together or live together?
Bought a house together. Remember, they was
Okay.
looking at properties.
Is it different if you just live together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah, living together is cool. Like if you know what I'm saying, some parents got high expectations. So like, you know what I'm saying, you feel like hey, I want to see if this is really the person and y'all want to live together before, or if there's like circumstances. Like living together is cool, but you go out and buy a house, your name is on a deed with this person. Y'all are in debt together.
That's
wild.
weird. This it's pretty wild to buy a house without getting married, and both of y'all's names. Like if somebody get a house and y'all move in together, all right. But like if you put a house in both of y'all names and y'all not married, and y'all ain't met each other's families. So yeah, you're right. Okay. But yeah, it's a difference of you, house and like living together. But I'm gonna try not to bash the movie too much because like I don't know. I just had some kind of revelation since we last talked, and I was like, you know what, this guy's a creator. It takes a lot to create something. I don't want to just get up here and call that junk trash. It's just one my movie though. Like I had high expectations for you. Like I watched the trailer and I can't remember. I only watched one because we talked before. I don't watch trailers, but I watched one and I had to think it was funny, but like the comparison was to like Guess Who, and I don't think you've seen Guess Who, but it had Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher. And that is a hilarious movie. Like, that junk is hilarious. So like it's being compared to Guess Who. It has Eddie Murphy in it. It has Jonah Hill. Mike Epps is in it. Like it seems like it's gonna be a funny movie, and it just was not funny. I remember pausing about a third of the way through. I'm like, yo, this movie not funny, and I didn't want to watch the rest of it, but like I was like, all right, I done spent 45 minutes. I might as well watch the other hour and a half. But I didn't like the concept of it, or like the subject matter of it. Like it just I like rom-coms. Like I like good rom-coms. It was But what I didn't know is the director producer Kenya Barris. My bad if I pronounce your name wrong. I don't like none of his work. Blackish is okay, but I don't like none of his work. He's what I would refer to, or his shows come off as too new Blackish for me. And that's how, especially the beginning of the movie felt. So like, had I known it was his to begin with, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But like, I have moved off of it was a trash movie to I just didn't like the movie. I remember telling my parents.
Hold on. How you gonna how you gonna say you just didn't like the movie, but then you were like you don't like none of his work?
So he's just not me and him just don't got the same view of the world. That's what I'm just.
That's fair.
We just don't got the same view of the world. So it's like it might be plenty of people that enjoy the movie. Like you said, you're not gonna tell nobody not to watch it. I will say, I was telling my parents like, hey, y'all gotta watch this movie. Y'all gotta watch this movie. My dad was like, nah, watch the movie first. Tell me if I should watch it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I came back to him. Hey, you shouldn't watch it. But like, it's just not my flavor. Like, I feel like there's probably a lot of people out there that do like that movie. There's probably like the people I don't follow on Twitter.
Yeah, but I'm sure people out there like that. I'm sure they did. But yeah, Kenya, nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing you.
But I think the biggest thing though is that if you have all those funny people, I expect the movie to be funny. Like it should have been.
Yeah,
like I should
definitely
like get picked up off the floor.
Yeah. I expected there to be more funny moments for sure. I expected there to be more funny moments. It was like it was decent. Like I said, it was decent. Like I don't think it's like great. I don't know if they were trying to win any awards with this movie.
Are you gonna watch the sequel?
There's a sequel. Bro, chill out, dog.
Nah, there ain't no sequel. At least not yet, bro. I wasn't putting
like there's a sequel. If there's a sequel, they're gonna be like mid-50s with like grandkids by then, based on how the timeline be going.
It's gonna be a family reunion, bro. It's gonna be a family reunion.
Oh yeah, that's exactly, and they're gonna put more celebrities in there. Yep, that's exactly what they're going. You're absolutely right.
Hey, give us credit for this when y'all drop it, because I know y'all ain't have it yet. I know y'all writers in the room ain't said it yet. Y'all gonna watch the podcast and be like,
Can't not finna cut us nothing now, bro. We gonna have to get a different somebody else to direct it. Where's Tyler Perry at? Let him come here real quick.
Like I said the same thing, bro. I'm like, where's Tyler Perry at? But yeah, all right.
All right, hey, I got a question for you, bro. I was talking to my one of my homegirls about this the other day. And the question is, do you feel like men have to like women more in a relationship for it to work or for it to be successful?
More than the woman likes the man.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting, bro, because it's not okay. Okay, define this for me right quick. What does it mean by relationship to work?
Relationship to work in that both parties are invested in making the relationship better, improving the relationship, and they're both doing enough to make the other person happy.
Okay, and can it work without them getting married?
Yeah, I don't think marriage, like if that's what they agree on, like, oh, we just gonna be in a relationship, we not get like the semantics of it, like the technicalities, I don't think that matters. It's like the relationship overall, a romantic relationship.
Okay, and do I think that man has to like the woman?
You
Nah.
don't?
And the
Why not?
reason I don't think so, I think that you are way more likely to get screwed as a guy if you like the woman more than if you're a woman and you like the guy more. Um. Oh yeah, I think that's what I think so.
You're more
Because then
likely to get screwed as a guy if you like the woman more than if the woman likes the man more.
yeah, I'm gonna use archetypes right quick because like think about a sim, right? Obviously he likes her more than she likes him, but then think about like a boss and his secretary. Like she likes him more than he likes her. Like which one of those are more likely to work?
Mm, I don't know. That's debatable on the second one because so here's how I think about it. Because right, the boss the boss has options. He can just go hire another secretary. So if the secretary doesn't like if he doesn't like that particular secretary, if the secretary like screws up or like something happens, like, and he's like, hey, it is what it is, like you out the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay. Let me clarify right quick. I'm not saying like that relationship specifically. I'm talking about like think about the whatever guy who has a secretary and then they end up dating. So it's not like we're not talking about like the work pretense anymore. We're just talking about that being how it started. So like got this doe-eyed secretary who sees like her boss. He like they get together. So like I believe
Mhm.
that's more likely to work than a sim.
You believe that relationship is more likely to work in the long term, is what you're saying? I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think
it depends on what you no, cause yeah, she just going oh. It now depends on what you mean by work, but tell me why you don't think so.
because I feel like it comes down to so here's what I think, right? Like I think so my answer when I was talking to my friend was like if you would have asked me a few years ago, I would have said easily the man has to like the woman more. I don't think it's that clear cut anymore. I do think like I do think a man has to like a woman more in most cases, but it's not like it definitely not to the level of being a simp. Like that's never gonna work. That
For sure.
never works. But um I think I think because generally like men will have more options the older they get. They'll have more value the older they get versus what's the word I'm looking for? When something's surface level. I don't know, versus like speaking like about how society thinks about things. A man is gonna have more value and more worth as he gets older than a woman is. Right. So like ultimately, right? Ultimately, the man is gonna have more options. It's gonna be easier for a man to have those options as he gets older than for a woman to have those options. Not saying that women don't have those options or that they can't have those options. I'm just saying it's going to be easier for him to have because and even because at first I was going to say it depends on the age range, like where you are. Because like if you're like early 20s, early 30s, whatever, like you kind of have to, I don't know. It's a little bit more balanced, I feel like, because women also have, they can do what they want to do and all of that. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? They have options for sure. So like you got to put in that extra step to be like, all right, this is and that's courtship, that's chivalry, that's like all the things that you're taught to do as a young man. And as you get older, because if you, build yourself as a man in a respectable fashion, you're more than likely going to have more worth, more value. You're going to have more options. It's going to be easier for you to navigate like a dating scene, for example, as you're older. So in that scenario, you still would have to like your partner more, because that would mean that you want to continue investing in your partner and continue building that relationship. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's also assuming that y'all are on the same page about like, uh, gender roles, the type of relationship that y'all have, and the dynamic that y'all have between y'all. But that's what I think.
So hold on, let me take one step back and touch on that women and men values as you get older. It's so funny, bro. It's so funny because it wasn't until you said something that I just jumped fences on this. Because like on average, I think that's wrong. I think as you get towards the edges, I think it becomes right. Because realistically, if you're thinking about somebody who gets divorced, who do you think is going to be more likely to get into a relationship next, the man or the woman? I'm going with the woman like 95% of the time, just because they don't have to do much. And I believe that a man is more likely to, I think he's more likely to be complacent than a woman is. Mm. In the average, like again on the edge, like if you have somebody that's like, oh, getting better year after year, like still working out, like okay, yeah, like
wait, what do you mean when you say on the edge? You talking about like top
bell curve?
Okay, so like top 10, top 15% of men, like that. Okay.
Yeah, once you get towards the edge, like yeah, like okay, you got more money. You're probably not like, you might look better like physically, even though like your physical fitness level might not be the same. But like, so like as a man, so like yeah, it might increase, but like that's not most people. Like the average is gonna be mid. And so in that case, I don't think their options gonna get better as they go. I think women gonna have like literally like up until they hit like a wall that it starts to go down in general. But anyways, that's beside the point. It's beside the point. So I say that the woman has to like the man more because men aren't gonna get tired of somebody doing something for them. Like, it's gonna be nice to have somebody do something for you, like care about you, like, make your life easier, blah, 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 like cook, whatever the case may be. But I think a woman's more likely for that to get old. Like you always trying to like do something for her, make her happy, please, or whatever the case may be.
You said a woman is more likely to get tired of that?
Yes, I think they are.
Huh? Really?
Because I think one is gonna look different. Like I think it's gonna look different. So I think that like what a man would do and what a woman would do would be two different things, but it would be two different things, which is why I think that, because I think that the 80-20 is a woman doing something for her man and a man doing a gesture. I think that's the 80-20 of it. I think that's what like the balance of it. So I think if you swap or if you move from the, all right, I'm doing this as a gesture, I think the more you do that, the less liked it becomes.
So you're saying like you don't feel that men do, like you feel like men do things in that relationship because they should, right? Versus a woman like naturally wants to do things for her man. And so a man isn't going to get tired of that versus a woman is going to get tired of like her partner doing things because they feel like they should do it, right?
Yeah, let's say yeah. I think you
Okay.
summed it up pretty well.
I agree with your point there. I do think I think that's true. I also think that's the problem. Like I think that you talk to people that have been divorced, right? Like a common thing that you hear is, "Oh, we don't go on dates anymore. He doesn't, surprise when he used to be charming and do things like X, Y, and Z." But like from the guy's perspective, he was doing those things because he should, not because like he genuinely, what I'm saying, like this person wanted to be that person to do those things for them. So ultimately, you have to, as a man, you have to like that woman enough to be like, oh, what can I do for her today? How can I? And that needs to be like part of it, right? Not granted, like, what I'm saying, like we've talked about this before, like men's and women's relationships are different, or their dynamic is different. The roles that they provide and what they do is different. But I think that there is a component that a lot of men miss out on over time in relationships. And so like you have to be sure that you really like this person to continue to invest in them over time. Because if you don't, like those things are going to diminish. And then also, like I said, you're going to have more options. So you're going to be like, this look like less work over here, but I could, what I'm saying, do that's like if it feels like it's something that you should, at some point it's gonna become a chore. You know what I'm saying? And when you feel like that, then the grass looks greener elsewhere type thing.
Hey, yeah, you made a good point, boy. You almost had me. I'm finna stay solid real quick. I'm finna stay solid real quick, and here's why. So you could, because you had it, and then you said something else that took me away. Because you said the choice. So like, right? I think that when it comes down to, I don't think if you make a choice that means that you like them more. But I think so. I think that if the woman likes you more, it makes it easier to make that choice. So it's like, look at it like this, right? So like, let's say, let's say, let's say I worked hard to get a girl, right? I worked hard. I put on my best fit, took on the best. I put out all the best moves, right? Backed her up. All right, and we in a relationship. And I'm thinking of the story as I go. So when I take a pause, like just know I'm thinking of the story as I go.
I
So
bet.
you backed
Off
her
the
up.
dome. Let's get it.
Yeah. Heck yeah, you backed her up. We're gonna turn this into a movie too. It's gonna call Those People. But anywho, so you backed her up. You have somebody that likes you. You can okay, I'm not even telling the story no more. I think you get to a certain point where I think the easier decision becomes to choose to be with this person than it is to try to work hard to get somebody else. So it's like I'm
Mm,
cool. So
disagree.
it's like, so I think it becomes okay. I'm cool with this. Like I think you're much. I think it'll be much. I don't. That's beside the point. It is the whole argument's beside the point. I don't think it goes into who likes who more anymore. So I'm gonna stay solid on what I said before I tried to tell my story. The
Which
choice.
was
You got to make a choice at some point. So I think one, emotionally wise, I think a woman is more to feel it with her emotions, but I think that a guy is more than likely to be like, you know what, this person is the person that I choose to be with, and I think that is different than liking. I'm staying solid on that point.
no, bro. Bro, I feel like what you're saying is proving the point that I'm making. If a woman is more likely to make that decision off of her emotions, doesn't that mean that the threshold has to be lower for her to choose to like somebody than the threshold has to be for a man? If he's not gonna there's some logic to it. But like I said, if you as you get older, even when you even when you're younger, right? Like logically, you know what I'm saying? You might look and be like, all right, this not the best, this not the best, X, Y, and Z. There's also some other options over here. I could be out with my boys, I could go do this, I could, you know what I'm saying? Like if you there's other things that you could do, you know what I'm saying? And then you don't have, especially in today's day and age, like you don't have to be in a relationship to get what you want, honestly. So like for you to make that choice, the threshold is higher. Like you have to like that person more than the woman does, in my opinion.
You bring up a good point, and I'm going to get to my ultimate point. I tried to differ it a little bit because we weren't talking about marriage, but we're here now. So I think ultimately the man has to like something more than himself more. So like I think that he has to make that choice outside of him. So like that's crazy because me and Kayla, we was riding with we was in the Uber and we was having this same conversation basically. And we got like 2 minutes away from where we were going, and the Lyft driver had asked if like he could chime in. And he was like, he's been married for like 29 years, had did this, that, and the other, like still love it, blah, 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 blah. And I asked him, I was like, "Do you believe in God?" He was like, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, "That makes sense. I believe that like the man has to have like some like has to believe in the higher power, has to believe in God in order for it to work. Because if not, like it's easy to just choose something that's easier. Like I'm tired of this, don't feel like it ain't no more. I'm gonna like what's really keeping me here. I don't like this. I didn't like this person yesterday. I don't like them today. I don't like them next week. I liked them like 2 weeks ago, but like we just like things been going downhill. Like, you know what? I can just leave. I can choose something else. Because I think that at the end of the day, but anyways, but I think that it's that higher power and that's gonna like moral compass, like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna stick it through. I made this commitment. So I think that guides more than a feeling. But while I said that though, I started thinking women's emotions might be more fickle. So, so they might not like you. They might not like you as much as they think they like you, you know. But they like you, they like you today. And that's all that matters. Like they might hate you yesterday, but you know, you pull out some flowers, now they like you again. So it might be more fickle. I'm gonna stay solid on my first point, but now I don't know, bro. They might be fickle.
I can't argue with that last one. It would be more.
They might be
It's
fickle.
too much. It's too much evidence in support of that argument for me to sit up here and try to go against it. But hold on. So what you were saying makes sense for somebody, for a man. Let me be specific. For a man who is principled and has values and has basically has a code that they need to stick to. Even for women, you know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about people that believe in gender roles, people that believe in like a specific dynamic between men and women and how that should go. Like people that believe that to their core, like that's gonna guide those decisions versus just emotions. I agree with you on that, right? I don't think that's the majority of the general public. Like I don't think most people are gonna act on that. We had a conversation a few weeks ago that most men don't take the time to understand what they want or know what they want out of life to even begin with that. So then if that's the case, how are you making these decisions? You know what I'm saying? It's in the moment. It's not like you don't have like that guiding principle or that guiding force to be like, hey, this is what I believe. So I need to kind of stick by this, or I need to do what I believe is right here, regardless of X, Y, and Z. In cases like that, I think the man does have to like the woman more. In cases where there's like principles and both people are, you know, living in the same values, I think it kind of defaults to what you were saying, right? Where those people understand the relationship. And that's what I said earlier, is that this is assuming that both that y'all agree or y'all have similar values and y'all have the same dynamic or y'all have the same understanding of relationships, X, Y, and Z. Like that's what I think. So I think if it's a principle person, that guiding force is going to guide that decision. And if not, generally the man has to like the woman more because they don't have anything else to kind of fall back on.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think another big thing too is I just don't think people have good what's the word for it? Good basis or like don't know what a relationship's supposed to be like. I think that's
Don't
a
have a good foundation for a relationship.
yeah, I don't think they have good I don't role models isn't a right word because I'm not talking about a specific person, kind of, for the most part. I'm talking about more so like concepts, like
The
models, like
concept, yeah.
okay, it's supposed to be out there. Yeah, it might be like this, but it goes like this. You do that. Yeah. I don't think people have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes back to what we was talking about before too. Like it used to be a big thing, got a necessity. I think now more than any other time period, it's a thing of want.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I think it is. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, but my parents too. On my other point, my parents too been married like 30 years. Christians. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. But there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that. There we go. The argument to that is, oh, there's plenty of Christians that do this and that, and they got divorced and their junk was trash, and whatever the case may be. I'm not going to say they're not real Christians. don't know how strong their relationship with God is though. But that's what I'm gonna stick to. That's what I'm gonna stay solid
And
on.
that's why I say it comes down to principles. I don't think it's like, because it could be any religion, right? But I think it comes down to, do you believe, have you internalized those principles, those values to your core? Is that a part of you? Because if so, that's going to guide those decisions that you make, X, Y, and Z. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Cause like, yeah, that makes sense too. I guess I'll be candid. Because I was talking with my brothers before, and like me, I like it would feel, because my parents have set such a good foundation for what a relationship could be, it would feel, maybe that's for everybody, but like cheating just does not sound like an option. Like it sounds way too dirt baggy for me. But if what I saw was different, and like my dad was a dirt bag, I'd probably be a dirt bag and just shrug it off. So all that to say, I do agree with you on the principles things. Like they both probably had the same principles. But yeah, I agree with you on the principles thing.
All right, we're gonna leave it right there. Let us know in the comments, y'all, if you're watching this on YouTube, do you think men have to like the women more for a relationship to work? Let us know what you think. Let us know why, and maybe we'll bring some of y'all on the podcast, or we'll read some of these comments out on the next episode. We got one more thing to talk about though. You want to get into it, because we started talking about it.
My bad, bro. I forgot, bro. I thought we was on the last thing. Now let's get into it right quick. Let's get into
it. Yeah. We was talking about this a little bit during the week, based off of a tweet that you had sent me, where somebody was basically like, when are we gonna acknowledge the fact that the response to the pandemic was a scam? And Elon Musk, in the screenshot you sent me, Elon Musk had commented under it and said it's coming. And then I think I didn't see it myself, but you said that there was like a reporter or somebody that said like there's gonna be something that gets released soon. Is that right?
It was 6 days from whenever it was posted, probably like 3 days ago.
Okay. So we started talking about it a little bit. I want you to share your opinion. Like, do you feel like the response to the pandemic was a scam, and why or why not?
All right. It's going to be hard to call it a scam today because I haven't done any research. I've never cared enough to do research. I only cared about myself this whole time. Going to be completely honest. So it's like, didn't think I was at risk. If so, like if I got it, it's like the flu. Cool. Whatever. So I don't get too deep into it as like other people on my timeline do. So I don't necessarily know if it's a scam yet. Do I think that they got it wrong? Oh, it's hard to say if they got it wrong then if I don't know the numbers. So like what I'll say is this. I don't agree with the vaccine mandate. I thought that was really, really wild to do. Because it doesn't make sense to tell people who don't think that they're at risk that, hey, you need to get a vaccine. Why do I need to get a vaccine if I don't think that I'm at risk? It doesn't make sense. So like at the point where
wait, hold on. My fault. At risk for what?
Getting COVID, like obese, old, whatever.
Okay. You want to finish? Because I got.
You can go ahead.
Oh, so everybody was at risk to get COVID. Like that's what they said. Okay. Like everybody at some point has gotten COVID, but at risk of dying from it is the thing. So like the major thing wasn't about are you going to get it or not. The major thing was, if you get it, are you going to suffer severe consequences, or are you going to pass it on to somebody else that's then going to suffer severe consequences? Because it was easy to get and it was easy to spread. So like that's the main thing. And I know we was talking about it, like I was saying, like so I would agree with you that the vaccine mandate was an overreach of government intervention or interaction if they did that from the jump, but they didn't. The vaccine was out for like 3, 4, 5 months before that mandate came out, because we gonna have to check the numbers on that, because when it came out, Joe Biden did a whole number. He did like a number of speeches and he had like a 6 point because I think the vaccine came out when Trump was still in office, right? So that's got to be
December.
2020, and then Joe Biden took office in January. He was like, oh, by June or whatever, we're gonna have 50% of the population vaccinated or 75. He threw out numbers. He said, this is our plan. We're gonna get these many people vaccinated by this time. That junk did not happen after 30 days, after 45 days. And so they was like, all right, we not going, and you gotta remember it's a new presidency, so he's being judged on first 90 days. It's a pandemic, so like literally lots of people are being hospitalized and dying from it, X, Y, and Z. But like people were not getting it in the numbers that they needed to. The whole thing was stop the spread or slow the spread, whatever the tagline was. But people were not getting the vaccine in enough force for that to be effective. So in my opinion, the government felt like they had to do something drastic to boost those numbers up. And like I said, I would agree with you if they came out with the mandate from the jump, but that's not what they did.
But how can you compel somebody to get it? Like you had all this. It was out for what it had been like 9 months of the pandemic before they got a vaccine. So if in those 9 months you can't compel people to get the vaccine, how are you going to try to make them get it so you can hit this goal? Like if we didn't think we needed to take it, then we just didn't need it. Like the people who thought they needed to take it took it. Okay, it told us that what. Oh, you get it.
But here's the thing though, like the government's response to that, the argument against that is going to be that people didn't choose not to take it because they made like a well-informed decision. People just didn't know enough about it. Like, did you like the CDC had a website? They had like studies out there about like the vaccine, the benefits of it, the studies that they did to create the vaccine. Did you look into any of that?
No, because I didn't care.
Yeah, see, that's what they're saying. It's like most people just didn't care to take it. Not that they chose to not take it because they didn't agree with, the studies, or they didn't agree with the science, or they talked to their doctor and their doctor was like, I don't know. Like most people that didn't take the vaccine because they didn't care or they didn't feel like they should, not because they had some like science backed evidence. And the argument is, well, this is science. The vaccine was created with science. So there's obviously, trials, there's studies, there's X, Y, and Z created to support it. So like, why not take it? You know what I'm saying? So that's the argument against that.
But that's not a good argument, though.
Why not?
That's just not a. So if you didn't like it, okay. So if enough people didn't do their research to know whether or not they should take it, and they get it and they die, that's on them.
But less people died when taking the vaccine than people died without the vaccine.
Less people died. Wait, say that again.
So
no, but
so
that's on.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So let's say, right, let's theoretical, hypothetical example, right? 100 people catch COVID that have not taken the vaccine. 38 of them are going to die or going to suffer long-term consequences. 100 people that did take the vaccine catch COVID. 12 of them are going to die or going to face long-term consequences, right? That generally is like, that's enough to say, okay, it worked. It's not perfect. You can't say that, oh, people took the vaccine and they still died. Like you it's one of those, like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things like, oh, you got 5 people on train tracks over here, 1 person on train tracks over here. Which one's better? You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those type of things. Like obviously it's not going to be a good situation either way, but what's the better outcome?
But what I'm saying is this. If you know there's a vaccine out there and you don't do your research on whether or not you should get it, you don't get it and you die. That's on you. You could have got the vaccine. Like you live with your choices. If
Okay.
at the point where you making everybody get it because people not doing their research, you're taking away my choice because they're being stupid. I could have did my research, but I could have did my research and decided, no, this is not for me. And I'm being punished for the people who didn't do their research. How am I being punished for being an informed citizen?
That's fair. That's fair. I get what you're saying. What you're saying is if you made a conscious decision to not take the vaccine because you was like, I don't need it, I don't want it, I don't care, whatever the case is, you made a conscious decision to not get the vaccine. If you do that and you get COVID and you die, that's on you because it was your choice. It was your decision. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
If you make that conscious decision not to get the vaccine and you get COVID and you straight, or you don't even get COVID, that's still on you. It's your decision, right? Like you good. What about if somebody gets or makes the conscious decision not to get the vaccine, gets COVID, and passes it on to other people or someone else that then dies?
Did the other person have a vaccine?
What? Let's go either way. Yes or no? Like what's the difference?
If the other person had a vaccine, your vaccine didn't work. Like you can still catch it with the you can still catch it with the vaccine, still pass it with the vaccine. Or yeah, you can still catch it, you can still pass it.
But they wouldn't have got it if you had the vaccine though.
No. Yes, you would have, because you can still get it if you had the vaccine.
Right, but the chances of it being passed from two people that have the vaccine are much lower than the chances of it being passed from one person that has the vaccine and one person that doesn't.
And your chances of dying when you have the vaccine are lower too. So it just sounds like it was your time to go. Like I can't play God now. I can't play God now. That's what you want me to do. You want to play God. But like
so y'all got to take it up with God. I'm crying.
But my thing is too, like, oh, there is no my thing too. But like it's like yeah, were you social distancing or you're wearing your mask? Like if you took all your precautions, it sounds like Final Destination to me. If
That's
you didn't take
crazy.
all your precautions,
so you feel like nah.
Then you did something wrong. But like that don't,
bro,
like,
no way. No. Bro.
Josh. Now Josh. Now Josh.
Now, look, I will admit. I'm trying to find an argument to disprove what you said. But like I hear what you're saying for sure. I hear what you're saying. All right, so if you chose not to get the vaccine and you pass it on to somebody else and they had the vaccine and they passed, you saying that their vaccine didn't work, that's not on the individual that didn't get it. My argument to that is, again, the number it's a probability thing, right? Like the probability of it even being passed to that person are significantly lower if both people have the vaccine. The same way if I'm wearing a mask and you wearing a mask, the probability of me sneezing on you are way lower than if you're wearing a mask and I'm not, right? Like I'm still gonna sneeze on you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you get sick or not. I mean, you was wearing the mask, right? Your mask might not have worked, but I sneezed on your arm, and then later you happen to, like that is more like there's way too much variables there to account for it to be like, all right, well, it's that individual's fault, or that person was wearing a mask wrong, or that person, you know what I'm saying, maybe they forgot to wash their hands or something, or they didn't, like, I don't know, like it's way too many variables to then put that back on them. When if I was just wearing my mask, it would have been straight.
All right, so here's my question. Where's the exercise mandate, huh? Where is that at? Where's the healthy eating mandate? And we didn't take none of all the precautions. We didn't take none of all. I work out often. I eat decent. I'm not even lying. I eat decent. I try to live a healthy lifestyle. Why am I being punished for people who had not lived a healthy lifestyle?
But that wasn't the only like thing that made you at risk. There were perfectly healthy people that were passing away from COVID. A lot of them. Well, actually, I can't say that. There were a good number of healthy people that were passing away from COVID. So at least that's what the reports say. That's what the numbers show.
But we don't have flu shots aren't mandated.
Yeah, they are. You have to get your shots when you're a kid.
Oh,
bro, no, bro. You know when you growing up, you go to the doctor like, oh, you got to get a shot today. That's not for fun. That's because you have to do that.
No. I mean, and I get it. Polio, cold, chicken pox.
There's definitely vaccine mandates that you have to get.
So here's the thing though. How long ago was that? Like, I don't mind getting a shot that's been out for years. Maybe. Like, there's plenty of people who. Oh, but we're getting off topic here. on the scam part of it, so all right, this is what I'm expecting to see in 6 days and 3 more days or whenever this thing comes out. It'll probably be out by the time this gets here though. So a lot of people on my timeline was saying that one, they told you that that if you got the vaccine, you couldn't spread you couldn't spread COVID. They're saying that all of this is what I'm seeing. I'm not saying whether or not it's true or not. Looking to see the evidence in 3 days or whenever. Said that was true. Saying that people who had the vaccine were still dying at the same rate as people who didn't have the vaccine. People who had countries that did not close had better numbers, lower death rates than Israel, who had a vaccine mandate. All right. So all that to say is on the scam part of it is that one, the vaccines just don't work. Two, all the fears that people had about getting it, like, hey, it's what's it? Experimental vaccine. Like a lot of that stuff turns out to be true. Like, does everybody suffer from these side effects? No. But are people getting myocarditis? Yes. People passing out suddenly or having heart, whatever, suddenly? Yes. All right. So the thing becomes, if these people are right, if this stuff is happening, then okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at like the scam part of it. And then yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at the scam part of it. So it's like, let's not act like there wasn't sufficient reason to be skeptical. Like it's an experimental vaccine. Like, how are we going to mandate an experimental vaccine and we don't know what the side effects? We don't know what they're going to do to the birth rates, because that's another conspiracy theorist philosophy or whatever. So like it was just ample reason for somebody to like be able to make a decision. Oh no, I don't want to get it. For you to turn around after you said that we wouldn't mandate the vaccines to mandate the vaccines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I understand. Like there was definitely skepticism around the vaccine. Like a big thing, especially in the Black community when it came out, was like, you know what I'm saying? Look at our history, look at the past, look what happens when we trust the government, just be like, yeah, let's shoot up, you know what I'm saying? And something crazy happens, right? So I definitely things were shooting up. Tap your wrist. Hey, give me that vein, but all right, anyway. Like I get the skepticism, right? But you know, I feel like it goes back to the research, right? Like the science believes that they had enough evidence and they did trials. And the other thing that I know, this wasn't a completely new vaccine. Like this was not like a vaccine made from scratch. Because I don't know if you remember, like when they first came out, Trump was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a vaccine in 6 months." Everybody was like, "Bro, are you stupid? Like, there's no way this is possible." Right? People like it takes years to develop a vaccine, but this was not. That's like if you're developing a brand new vaccine. This was not a brand new vaccine. This was methods that we've used before to create vaccines with I don't know, compounds, formulas. I'm not a scientist. You know, if you're a scientist, come on the podcast and explain it to me. But anyways, they had like formulas and compounds, ingredients, whatever, to that they've used before to make the vaccine. They were the tests were really, how do we tweak this to work for this particular disease X, Y, and Z. So it's not like it was something that was completely brand new. Again, they feel like there was enough research out there to back up, you know, the studies that they did, the trials, the tests, and all of that stuff that they did before it was, you know, safe to give out to people, which I have to agree with, right? Because one, like this can't be a partisan issue. Like this can't be a political issue because Trump was in office when this vaccine was being created. Trump was responsible for the vaccine being created. That's so, you know what I'm saying? Like it can't be a political thing. You said what?
The Trump vaccine, that's what he called it.
Exactly. Like so he was responsible for it. That's part one. And it's not like Joe Biden got in office and was like, hey, scrap everything Trump been doing. This ain't working. This ain't like, nah, they continued to work. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did. But yeah, I just feel like they feel like there's enough evidence out there to support it, and that's what happened. I will say, although although this is my position right now, I'm definitely not a fan of government, but like I would not be surprised if there's evidence that comes out to contradict this. Like if there's some like super great investigative journalism done and they're like, oh, we got these emails that said we're gonna indoctrinate these people, we're gonna X, Y, and like whatever. That would be hilarious. Like honestly, because I don't like the government. I did get the vaccine, so I might be a little worried, but but like I just wouldn't be
funny, huh?
surprised. You said what?
It ain't gonna be that funny, huh?
Nah, it's not gonna be funny no more. Hey, January 6th already passed. I was gonna go up to the Capitol again, bro. Not again. I was not there last year. Don't.
We're gonna have to edit that out, bro. This person is just going to get. This is gonna be our most edited video, bro.
Bro, FBI agent's gonna be at the door, bro. I was not. Hey, let me be clear. I was not at the Capitol January 6th, 2022. Just want to make that clear.
Hey, the other thing I was about to say on scam wise, like it was some scammy stuff going around. Like they tried to throw people who were anti-vax in the same boat of people that didn't want to take this vaccine. So it's like they threw people who were anti-vax, like everybody, like in February 28th, 2020, 99% of people thought that somebody who was anti-vax was crazy. Everybody thought that. But at the point where you try to throw everybody who didn't want to get the vaccine in the same boat as people who were anti-vax, like that's a very scammy thing to do. Like it's a very big difference between the two.
Yeah, explain the difference, because I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know what no real difference is, but it's like but the difference I'm saying is like one has been out, like nobody had a problem, like most people don't have a problem like getting their kids vaccinated when they like them whatchamacallit's been out for years. You do have people who say like, oh, those vaccines lead to an increase in autism, but like most people like it just is what it is. But like you have something that's coming out in real time, like for somebody to be skeptical of it, like that makes a lot of sense. And then so like to turn around and try to make people get it, no, to try to group them in the same boat as people who were anti-vaccine. Like
so you're saying like there are people that don't believe in vaccines as a core principle. Like they like I don't trust no vaccine. Like same way like there's like vegans. It's like I don't want to eat no meat. Like there's people that are just like I don't want no vaccines. Yeah. But there's also people that were like, I don't know how I feel about this particular vaccine for COVID, so I don't want to get this vaccine. Not that I don't believe in vaccines as a whole. I just don't quite trust this particular vaccine. You saying to group those people together is crazy.
Or I just don't think I'm at risk. I don't think I really need this one. I didn't get my flu shot last year. I don't really think I need to get this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Skepticism.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get that. Like,
and then to try to group them up. That's a very scammy thing to do. Like, why are you trying to group them
up? But
I
don't think that's. I feel like that's, bro. That's like, let me see. Where does that, bro? No, because so many things get grouped in together, and these are similar thoughts in the same. I don't know.
They're not though.
There's two ways to think about it. There's two ways to think about it. And I feel like different people gonna think about it different ways. One way is like a lot of people group like vegans and vegetarians together. They're not the same. They have different principles, but ultimately they don't eat meat. That's one way that's just one way to think about it. People group vegans and vegetarians together. The other way to think about it is queer community, please forgive me. But the other way to think about it is like a few years ago, like there was a movement to add pedophilia to LGBTQ plus. Like they were saying like this is a preference the same way, the rest of the queer community has their preferences. But those are, different things. So there's two ways to think about it, right? Like, do you view it as this is like completely different, or do you view it as like this is similar and there's enough there to there's enough there to classify them the same if you don't understand it. Because like I said, vegans and vegetarians, the core principle is the same. They don't eat meat. But if you go and you understand, okay, a vegan, they don't eat anything from an animal versus a vegetarian is just, I just don't eat meat. So like you have to go that extra step to understand it. So if you view an anti-vaxxer versus someone that doesn't want this vaccine in that same way of like, they just don't want the vaccine until you go further and you're like, oh, an anti-vaxxer has particular principles, da da da. And I think at that moment, it was tough. At that moment in time, it was tough to distinguish the two because a lot of anti-vaxxers, I mean, that's what they were talking about was this vaccine. It's not like they were talking about no vaccine or like other vaccines or X, Y, and Z. Like a lot of them were talking about this vaccine. And a lot of people that didn't want this vaccine were using examples of, you know, vaccines in history in the past to justify not getting this vaccine. So it was hard to distinguish the two between, like, especially in that moment in time.
I call cap. I got a couple of questions for you right quick now.
All right.
Did you get your polio shot last year?
I have not been to the doctor in I don't know how long.
All right. When was the last time you got a polio shot? The only time you got a polio shot, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But do you need a polio shot every year?
No.
Okay.
All right. When was the last time you got a flu shot?
Couple years.
But they have them every year, right?
Yeah, they do.
All right. So what's the difference between those two?
Flu is the common cold. Like that's what it is. Like that's what it is. If there is a new disease that comes out, I'm getting the shot.
But the thing here is that COVID is more comparable to the flu than to any other thing that we get. No, like it legit is. Like it's a version of the flu. Like it's just straight up is a version of the flu.
No. The like that was a common thought that came out earlier.
One thing right quick. Was that just wrong? Was that just wrong?
I think so, yes. Yes, because that was what a lot of people were saying, like early on, like, oh, this is just a hyped up. And then as more data came out and more science came out, they were like, oh, no, this is much worse than the flu, because the flu does not attack your what is it? I don't know the medical term for it. I can't think of it right now, but it doesn't attack your heart and your lungs the way that COVID did. So COVID would specifically like go your respiratory system. That's what it is. COVID, like the effects of COVID would specifically impact your respiratory system along with your immune system in a different way than the flu. The flu just attacks your immune system. It's like, you know, red blood cells and all that. That's why you sneezing, you get sick, you feel like you got a cold, like that's your immune system. But like people were having shortness of breath, like not able to breathe, like that is a completely, it works in a completely different way. And like I said, that's the first thing that people compared it to, because like a lot of the initial symptoms were the same. But over time, like as more data came out, as more science came out, they were like, nah, that's not what it is. We might have to leave this one up to the people too, bro, and ask, do y'all think the vaccine mandate was necessary? What do you think it accomplished? And is there a better way to have issued a mandate or to compel people to get a vaccine, you know what I'm saying, or do something that, you know, is good, quote, quote, for the general public?
But here's the thing, and we can leave it on the, we don't have to leave it on this. We can go as long as we want to go. But bruh, if the Black Plague came out, like everybody's getting a vaccine, but like nobody's trying to die of the Black Plague. So like, if death is not good enough to compel somebody to get it, like, it just ain't that serious to them.
I mean, like it's one thing. Like the other thing is like it's hard because like the plague, I don't even know what that looked like. But like whenever I saw it in like drawings and stuff, it looked like the clouds was different. Like maybe that's just an exaggeration. That's probably how that's how they got everybody that's what they need to do. They was too soft with COVID. It was like, oh, it came from a bat. Nah, they should have put stuff in the sky and been like
hey, The other thing right quick is though, are you saying that the reason that the mandate was justified was to preserve the lives of other people?
I think that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what's the word? I don't remember what the saying is, but like drastic times calls for drastic measures, basically. I think we were in drastic times based on the number of people that were being hospitalized, the rate at which people were dying, how much we did not know or understand about the virus at that moment in time, and like just everything that was like all of those factors created drastic times. This was crisis. I think at the time, the government, much of the science world, felt that the vaccine was the best thing to combat this, and not enough people were taking the vaccine to see an impact on those factors that I mentioned. And so the government felt like they had to do something drastic.
But I guess the thing is, like, if someone says like, oh, you had to get the vaccine to protect your neighbor, okay, that's a horrible argument in my opinion, but like, okay, no. But like, if you're saying that you got to get the vaccine to protect yourself, that's even worse. Like, that's worse.
What do you mean? Why?
Like, it's not. That's not the government's job. Like, you can't really tell me, because like you can't really tell me that I need to get the vaccine for my own good.
Why not?
Why can you? We're not in a communist country.
Think about it like this. There's a law saying that you have to wear a seatbelt when you drive a car. You don't have to wear a seatbelt when you drive a car. You go drive a car and not wear a seatbelt. That's cool. But if you get in an accident, God forbid, and you fly out that front windshield, that's a much worse impact than if you had a seatbelt on. So, like, yes, the government is going to say you should do this because based on what we know, the outcome is safer for both you and other people if you do it.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good example. But be that as it may. Bro. This is different. Like, this is not a seatbelt though. Like, yeah, you can fly through the windshield. But because like, if I like, no.
Let me say, see ya.
That's a pretty good argument, but like, you also regulate who can drive cars, and that's more so like a rule. I don't know. Good argument. I still disagree though.
That's fair. It's all personal opinion. We here to put the opinions out for public discourse and create conversations. So we gonna see. That's why that app we was talking about on the last episode that ain't dropped yet. We gonna get some folks to build that app, and then they could go ahead and comment and join in the conversation when we build that app out. But any last words before we head out?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave it for next time.
All right, that's a bet. Appreciate y'all for tuning in for, I don't know what episode we on, but appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Comments Podcast. Like I said, leave a comment, leave a like, share it with somebody. Everybody, bro, share this video or share the podcast, bro. Just share it with one person. Just put it on your story, whatever. It don't matter. Just share it. Like, come on now, please. Actually, don't share it. I don't give a fuck. Anyway.
I'm not saying I ain't saying it, please.
I don't care. Don't share it. It don't matter. Okay, y'all broke anyways. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.